Hi, hi, Al. What's this?
What's this?
Ah, Danny, Frankie, sorry, you caught me at a bad time. Listen, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. So, what Earl and I have decided to do was take a road trip out of the city for a proper review of an electric vehicle. Now, this may sound foreign to the both of you, seeing as how you've never thought of this idea before. God, that just look, just leave the creatives to me and Earl. Okay, so before I let you go, we're gonna need a few things from you. Money, basically, for accommodations, a little bit of food, some flash cash, and also we're gonna need 2 days of paid leave. Yeah. Well, you guys are the best. I love you both. Mwah. But I gotta go take a shower because it's mainit. In it. Honey, I'm ready for my ball.
Okay.
The fuck?
So this is the electric car that we're bringing along on our long road trip. This is the BYD Atto 3. And the second reason is, well, the last time that we had this car on our behind the wheel, we didn't really get to use up as much of the battery as we wanted to. And this thing is a tank when it comes to range. So this time around, we want to really test out its legs and its practicality. Yes, I know that there's a bunch of skeptics among you, much like Earl, who's behind the camera, that have questions like, are there charging stations? What's the range of the car? How long will it take you to charge? Will you actually camp out at an outlet just to get there? Is it efficient enough to make it out on the highway? Well, I have one simple answer for you. The car's right here. Its battery capacity is 60.48 kilowatts. The estimated range, city and highway, is 420 kilometers. If you were just to be in the city, it's 565 kilometers, which is an efficiency rate of about 7 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Quite the spec for its price. And quite the range as well, because this thing can easily make it to La Union and Baguio and back. Earl, what do you say?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on, it'll be fun.
No.
I bet you wishing Jack was here now.
Yep.
As of December 2023, there have been 16,000 registered electric vehicles in the Philippines alone. So that's a really good indication that a lot of people are adapting to the EV lifestyle. Now, the whole point of this video is that we once said that EVs are better as second cars, mainly because of charging stations and the fact that they're expensive. But now, more affordable charging stations are sprouting out of everywhere. There are even apps that you can use to find charging stations. EVs have now become ridiculously easy for people to use as daily commuters, even if they don't have chargers at home. What about a road trip? What about a beach trip? What about your family? So that's exactly what we've simulated here today. A happy family of 4. 1, 2, 3, and Earl can be the one wearing the skirt.
Huh?
Shut up, you like it. Now, I do realize that our children only really occupy space and not weight. So we've compensated for that by adding weights inside the car. You carry one thing and you make me carry 2 bags? Although we wanted this to really be just a quote-unquote family trip, the bosses said we needed a chaperone, which meant them. So, as we start our journey to La Union, we're starting with 96% battery power, which is over 400 kilometers, and our route will take us over 260 kilometers. So it's not gonna be a problem at all. But like a proper road trip, we're gonna simulate a couple of things like stopping over, bathroom breaks, getting some food and whatnot. And although this is a, what? Why are you looking at me like that? Although this is an automobile, like I said, which is a tank when it comes to range, we're gonna simulate also what it would be like for other EVs that have shorter range. What if you do need to stop and top up? Well, we've got that covered. What are you looking at me like that for?
I don't think we're gonna make it.
Dude, how can you say we're not gonna make it? We have a 400-kilometer charge. We're still at 96%, over 400. It's only gonna take us 220 kilometers to get there. Take it easy. I do realize that EVs are better off in the city. They have better range when you're driving slow. When you're driving on the highway, the battery is on all the time, much longer, right? But don't worry. If we need to stop, we'll stop. We'll charge somewhere going up north. It's not going to be a problem. Do not be a Debbie Downer. You know, Jack wouldn't be this negative.
Jack also wouldn't want to sit in the car with the bosses for 3 hours straight.
You have a very good point. Our route from the office in Makati will be up on the Skyway, after which we'll hit NLEX, after which we'll hit SETEX, after which we'll hit TPLEX, all the way to La Union, to a really, well, an awesome place. So we're gonna be simulating 2 banyo breaks, and also because this might be replicated by other EVs that don't have the range that this tank has, we're also going to stop at the Shell recharge station, which is all the way in Rosario. The reason why we're going to the Shell recharge station is because it has a 180 kilowatt charger, which will get us up and ready quick, fast, and in a hurry. Another advantage of EVs is just how quiet they are. You don't hear the engine, the road noise is kept at bay, and you can hear sweet little things from your kids in the back. What's that? Oh yes, Dada loves you too. Plus, the air conditioning in here is so cold. I'm at 19 degrees Celsius, my fan speed is up to 2. I'm so comfy. These seats are actually pretty comfortable too. You know what? It's so cold in here, even though it's the middle of summer, we can afford to open the sunshade again and let some light in. You know what? Hi BYD. Open sunshade.
The blind is open.
Blind, sunshade, pareho lang yan. But look, I can have all that sun come in and still be super comfortable in here. What's that, kids? Bathroom break? Sure.
What are you talking about?
Just go with it, Earl. Okay, so after the second pit stop, after the kids need it, obviously, we are now at a 63% charge with 302 kilometers left to go. And if my tantiameter is right, we're only about maybe 120 to 30 kilometers away from our destination if we had an electric vehicle that had less of a range than this BYD Atto 3. So just because we can, we're gonna go head on over to Shell and charge up. And that's gonna take all of maybe 20 minutes at most. We can even take a break, have a coffee, get brunch perhaps. Yeah, I think the kids are hungry. Kids?
I'm hungry.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you, Earl.
Oh, come on.
You know what, Earl? I'm getting tired of this. If you're going to be this negative the entire trip, I don't want you in this car. You can ride with the bosses.
These are their stories.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear. Yes? What? Again? Okay. Who are you talking to? The children. What's wrong with you, Earl? They're stuffed animals. Earl, how could you? Take that back. I'm sorry, loves. Daddy didn't mean it. At the end of TP Lex, which we're coming to the toll gate right now, we've got 41% charge, 198 kilometers left in the tank. We're coming to the toll gate, and we can definitely make it to our awesome accommodations in La Union. But just to appease Earl, we're going to stop over at Shell in Rosario and recharge the car. Hello, Shell! Full charge, please. Okay, so if we are doing we're doing an 89 kilowatt charge. It's not 180, only an 89 kilowatt charge. State of charge about 47%, which means I calculated wrong. I thought it was gonna be about 20, 30 minutes. It's gonna take us actually about 53 minutes, which isn't exactly so bad considering that it's only charging 89 kilowatts, not at 180. And we are going to 100% rather than 80%. We're maxing out the battery. It's not so bad. What are the chances that this happens while we're charging our BYD Atto 3, another Atto 3 shows up? This is not a test vehicle. Somebody actually owns this car. And interestingly enough, the owner of this vehicle came up to us and he wanted to know about our charging status. Since we left Metro Manila at roughly about 7 a.m. to get all the way here with a couple of stops, we depleted the car to about 47%. Now, this is obviously leaving the Makati area at about 7. Now, this person left Metro Manila at roughly about 9 a.m. from the Pasig area all the way here to the exact same location. But he depleted his battery all the way down to about 25%. See, there's a very large disparity, and it could be because of the time that you left. So again, this may not be an exact science. This is what we experienced with this car compared to how other people may drive their car and find that their batteries may deplete faster or slower. By the way, both cars were topped up at 100%. That's one thing. Now what I'm talking about is exactly how much it costs per kilometer of how much it is to drive these cars, let's say all the way out here. And for that, let's go inside for a little bit of air conditioning, shall we? So, what we're gonna do is talk price per kilometer, and we're gonna compare the BYD Atto 3 to, say, an average crossover that will ply the road and make the same trip that we are doing. So we're gonna call that Car X. I can tell you that Car X, the support car that we brought, because Earl was praying about the EV going kaput, and I wanted to bring it because I wanted to prove a point, does carry a 1.5 liter gasoline engine. It does do about 149 horses and 200 Newton meters of torque. And I gotta tell you, it carries, because Stadler and Waldorf are a bit heavier than us, we are carrying roughly the same amount of weight. But anyway, to the price comparison. Now, I whip out my tool here, and here we go. The total distance that we've traveled so far is 222 kilometers, right? So we topped up Car X gasoline engine, and that was 16.9 liters, which cost us a total of 1,142 pesos. Pretty much okay, not a problem. And that comes to 5.14 pesos per kilometer. Keep that in mind. Now we move on to the EV, the BYD Atto 3. So, it took us roughly about 41 kilometers, or rather 41 kilowatt hours to get all the way here, traveling 222 kilometers. And that cost us a total of 1,440 pesos and 60 centavos to charge the car up all the way up to 100%. But here's the thing. We did that at a charger that costs 30 plus 31, maybe 32 pesos per kilowatt hour. That is because that's a fast charger. If, let's say, for example, you were to use a slower charger like the one at home, 12 or 22 that you get in the mall, the rates are 1/3 the price. So essentially, if you were to charge in Metro Manila and come all the way here, you'd basically be spending all of 2.21 pesos per kilometer. How do you like that, Earl? Now that we're off the highway and into some twisties, it becomes much more engaging to drive a vehicle that weighs about 1,700 kilos and has an accelerator basically like a light switch. We're kind of stuck in a little bit of traffic now, but that's not really a problem because once that clears up, you can floor it and then not feel so bad that whatever money that you spent charging the automobile is completely spent, because now that we're in some twisties up and down, you get to use your brakes a heck of a lot more here than you would on the highway. In turn, that means regenerative braking. And if that's not clear to you, basically what it does is that your momentum isn't just gone to waste every time that you step on the brakes. Instead, the amount of electricity that's produced when you slow down the car with the brakes is then put back into the batteries, which with the way that I drive, I think is sort of like negated because I kind of tend to floor it every so often when I can. We're about 40 kilometers away from a really awesome hotel that we're headed to here in La Union, and we've got almost a full charge. I'm like 99% and over 470 kilometers to go. So we've got the range. Earl, do we really need to go to the hotel just right away? Do you? Why don't we get some like coffee or something to eat? You know a place?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If you put it on the wings.
Let's go there now. Let's take the kids sightseeing.
Oh, come on.
What? Just go with it.
Fine. Want a family picture there as well?
Ooh, family photo.
Why not?
Nice. I cannot believe we've come this far and covered that much distance on nothing but basically battery power. I mean, EVs in the past were like a maximum of 300 kilometers. Now, they're doing 500 kilometers even. And then to imagine how expensive they are before, now, with all the features that you get in a car like that, you can get the Atto 3 for under 1.8 million Philippine pesos and have all the space that you need to take your family along too. It's really incredible. And what makes Awesome Hotel an even awesomer place is because, well, we did our research, they've got a charging station. Like I said, you gotta plan your trips ahead, right? And Bob's your uncle. Good afternoon. Or awesome afternoon. Whoa. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ooh, thank you. 2 adults and 2 children. The children. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Daddy will never leave you again. Daddy will never leave you again. Yes. Can I have 2 glasses of whiskey with iced croutons, please? Yeah, make that 2 bottles of water. Thank you. Anyway, the point is it can be done. You can get yourself out of Metro Manila, out on a road trip, out to the beach, out with your family with an electric vehicle without worrying about running out of juice. All you have to do, much like any trip, you just gotta plan ahead. That's all. As mentioned, the range of EVs have gotten better and longer through time. Once we were relegated to about 300, now you're doing 400 to 500. And of course, the price is always going to be a huge factor. You're thinking it costs upon millions, that it had to be someone's like second or third car. Not anymore. Now they're so affordable. And we've also proven that you don't necessarily need to have a charging box at home because they are now more easily gettable or more easily reachable, whether you're in the city or outside the city. Which brings you to awesome places like this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a paid leave to attend to. Right, dear? Who's gonna no, take care of the children now. I'm on break, man. Hey, tend to the kids. Be of some use. He really is useless, Earl.
The thing is, that was just half the trip. Now it was time to head home. Smooth sailing on the way up, and you'd think smooth sailing on the way down. Unfortunately, we hit a snag. See, Shell Rosario had rolling brownouts because it's the dead of summer. And well, getting home now was going to be a question of whether we could actually do it or not.
You know, it's been about 5 minutes that we're looking for the bosses because we want to get on the road because we don't have charge here. And the weird thing is that we asked them where they were and they sent us this photo. Yeah, we work for those guys. And I'm the one that's nuts. Right.
I can't believe you didn't think this through. It's brown out and there's no charge.
How am I supposed to know it's brownout, Earl? How am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know that, Earl?
You could have done this, you could have done that. And what's worse is that the bosses left us.
Okay, here's the situation, folks. We are now, our range is 399 kilometers. That's about 83% charge. I was supposed to top up at the end of TP Lex, which is what we're entering right now, okay? So we're quite far from home. And that was going to be our saving sort of like buffer charge. Now, I don't know exactly what the charge is going to be like by the time we get to NLEX. This time around, I'm a bit worried. I think less engine braking so that we can coast as much as possible. You mean regenerative braking?
Yeah.
At what percentage did we start out at?
86.
Why are we all of a sudden at 81?
Or 84.
Earl, what did you do? Okay, I've decided that one way to save on power would be to turn off the infotainment system. After all, the screen does eat up electricity. Now, if Earl does get bored, just like our review of the Atto 3, the doors have that same thing, that Star Trek looking ship thing. And basically, I can entertain Earl by singing. We be jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We jamming, we jamming, we jamming, we jamming, we jamming, we jamming. I wanna jam it with you. And we are entering Skyway. We're about to hit the on-ramp now. So, distance to the office, 19 kilometers. We still have 141 kilometers left in the tank, or in the juice of the batteries. 140 kilometers right there. What's freaking me out is that there's 29%. I think that percentage, if I just not look at that, I'll be okay. And I'm glad we're on the Skyway because now we're gonna reduce our speed to 60 kilometers per hour, which is probably better overall. And I can even turn on my adaptive cruise. Hi, we made it to the office. Battery charge, 26%, which equates to 124 kilometers left to go. So, if we really wanted to make it in one charge, we could have. No problems whatsoever. And we're back in the same spot that we started our trip on, right here. I don't even have to turn off the engine. Much like any trip though, you need to plan ahead. Your route make sure that there are some charging stations that you can get to, much like it was a smaller engine that it's an internal combustion engine that you need to plan gas stations to go to. You got to plan that ahead. So is it possible? Yes. Is it that expensive? No, EVs are getting much cheaper. Is it more expensive to charge? No, that we've shown that if you charge at home, it's actually a bit cheaper if you can, or 22 kilowatt chargers, which you can go to gasoline stations as well. Would I do this again? Yes, most definitely, because when the camera wasn't rolling, Earl was sleeping a lot because the car is super comfortable, as most EVs are, because of the weight of the batteries, plus we added more weight, and it's super quiet. The drive was pleasant, especially going up north. Would I go to La Union all over again, to that awesome hotel? Yeah, I really would. And maybe we will. Maybe on a different thing. Maybe we can put an internal combustion engine versus a hybrid versus an EV. Ooh, there's an idea. Anyway, stay tuned. Do subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos, because we create them just for you guys. Take care, stay safe. See you soon. Bye.